Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Aaliyah.
And I'm Julia Renee.
And I forgot the intro as I was saying it and
but
started
you said
panicking.
It. You said it.
I think it's just like part of me now. But
yes.
I was like, wait, is this correct?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, did I say something? Like I can't, because sometimes it's just like so natural that I don't even remember.
That's how I feel about every full episode. I edit these episodes for those who don't know, and every time I'm shocked at what we're talking
You're like,
about.
what did I say? Was I even there?
Yeah. Like, I fully soak in everything you say, but then I speak, and I'm like, who was that? Yes. Like, that's not me.
Well, one thing that I realize is that when you're with, like, speaking in front of people and doing, like, little Q&A panels and stuff like that, when I don't remember what I say, it's actually better than when I do remember what I say, because it's the way
speaking from the heart.
The way that I like to think of it is like source, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is speaking through you and giving the people exactly what they need to hear, instead of you like overthinking and overanalyzing what you're going to say. And then it ends up sounding worse.
Yeah, I do get like anxious every time I'm almost like too prepared to speak. Like, I'd rather not know what I'm about to say.
And then you're like, hi, my name is Kendall.
So we write out outlines again, just sharing the behind the scenes.
Yes.
To start this one. We write out outlines for what we're going to speak on, and you're typically very good at like following your outline. I'll read like the first line and just wing it from there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember roughly what I wrote, but like, I'm not saying things word for word.
I need an outline, like even for the simplest things, but Zach is the opposite, where he doesn't need an outline. He can just like speak. And I'm like, I need like bullets that give me ideas of like what I'm saying next.
I'm kind of an in-between where I need like a rough, like, okay, I need to talk about this. I need to hit this at some point, and I'm going to close with that. Yeah. That's about it. Anyway,
she's a YouTuber,
unrelated.
Fam.
Yeah, right. Today we are talking about 5 healthy holiday travel hacks.
Whoa,
say that 5 times.
5 healthy holiday travel hacks. 5 healthy
holiday hacks. Healthy holiday hacks.
Jesus.
Anyway, so the holiday season is here, as we know. We're coming up on Christmas. It does not feel like it. I don't know if it's because we're in Texas.
I mean, by the time this like comes out, it's basically Christmas.
It's like a week away, right? Or less than?
I mean, when we're filming this, let me look at my schedule.
It is currently the 13th.
It's the 13th. It's basically Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Because next week is like, it's like Hell Week, where everyone's like,
yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
have done no Christmas shopping yet.
I have done, today's the 13th, and a week from today's the 20th, which is basically Christmas. It's only 5 days away. Oh my God. Panic attack. I've done like half. I've done like
half your shopping.
What's
I have ideas for everyone. I just have not purchased.
I have a list with check marks and names and
color coordinated.
Yep. And we've done some of them. We went on Sunday. No. Yeah, we went on Sunday, and we like knocked out like my dad, his mom, his sister, his dad, his mom.
Oh my gosh.
You're
shopping more than people I am. I got like 5 people on my list.
Yeah.
My circle's small this Christmas.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with the holidays, typically comes traveling, and come traveling is being out of your routine.
Yes.
You're not, sometimes that's even if you're not traveling, even if you're not going like out of state, out of town, sometimes people coming in and disrupting your schedule and like that can still affect you. And these tips can still, like, not all of them, but some of them be used to kind of navigate just the holidays in general, but specifically travel.
Oh,
I feel like this is what causes people to fall off the most during holidays, because like, yes, stress of the holidays, yes, eating things you're not used to, but I feel like when you travel, you're less likely to seek out a gym, to work out, to do all these things that you typically would do.
You like clock out.
Yeah, exactly. Like you forget every aspect of what you've been working towards. So these are kind of just here to like guide you, to try to keep you on track. But remember, we've preached this every holiday episode. Be nice to yourself. Give yourself grace. Like, of course, you're going to have some meals out of the ordinary. Of course, you're going to make well, hopefully not, but miss a workout or two. Be nice to yourself. That's not the end of the world. Just get back on track, like, for real. Yes. It's not that deep.
Just get back on track. It's never too late to get back on track.
Never.
That's what we've said a bajillion times on this pure podcast.
The biggest hack I'm going to give isn't even part of these 5, but it's kind of like overarching for all of them. And it's just to make a plan, like plan ahead. It is so important to plan every aspect of your traveling, especially if you're going out of town or out of state, like doing research beforehand about like where you're going to, where exactly you're staying, gyms nearby, food options nearby. And that kind of goes into the first one, which is be strategic about where you're staying. Are you staying at a hotel? Does that hotel have a gym? Are there gyms near that hotel? Does it have a full kitchen? If not, you might want to look at something like an Airbnb. I feel like that's what I always do when I'm traveling and trying really to stick to plan. Because then you have a full kitchen and a ton of space, and being in that like home environment makes you feel more in your routine than being in like, I don't know, hotels feel like sterile to me sometimes.
Yeah. You feel like almost like a bachelor.
Yes.
I don't know why. Like just living out of a mini fridge.
I get that.
You know,
I get that.
Having like meals out every single day. But like there is a hotel chain. I think it's called At Home. No. What's the one that we used to always go stay at in Houston? Was it the At Home?
I know it's a Marriott something.
No, it's called Home 2.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe
they
you.
have like a full kitchen in almost all of their places. And I love booking those if I'm able to, because they have a fridge, they have a stove, they have a microwave.
Yeah. And then you have the hotel gym. So
And you have the
to go
hotel
anywhere.
gym. And honestly, like for me, that is ideal if like I have all of the things in one space. But if it's like an Airbnb and I can have like a full kitchen and I can actually go grocery shopping.
Yes.
Or I can have like meals delivered. I've been doing that lately when I've been traveling. That's been really helpful, where I'll get like a pound or 2 pounds of each kind of protein and like some carb sources, and I have them mailed to where I'm staying.
That's so smart. Like I never think of that.
It's so freaking helpful. And then I go to the grocery store and I can just buy some extra stuff like for breakfast. And then whenever I do want to have those other meals that are out, because of course we're on vacation, we're going to have some meals that are out, then I just eat my regular meals and then I replace my other meal with that meal that's out for dinner.
Yeah. And if you're not planning ahead and you show up to your hotel and all you have is like a tiny mini fridge with no microwave or no stovetop or anything, it's going to make it a lot more challenging to stay on track. So just like, that's like something so easy. Decide where you're booking based off your goals. Don't just decide like, well, what's closest to my aunt's house? You know, like let's find, even if it's like a town over and maybe you have to drive to her house, it's not the end of the world. And this also goes into kind of like who you're staying with. I feel like be mindful about, because I definitely have some like family members who don't understand my lifestyle, and that is okay. I don't always expect them to. But if you're staying in a home with a ton of aunts and uncles and grandmas that are constantly like berating you about you focused on your meal plan or having to go work out during family time, maybe that's not like the best environment to stay in. Like maybe stay across the street, maybe stay in your own room. You know what I mean? So just being strategic in general about like how and where you're staying when traveling.
Because that could just make you feel bad about your goals, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like you really shouldn't. I know there's definitely a time and place like for, like we're not like going to the gym on Christmas Day.
Exactly.
Like you don't have to freaking do that, you know,
but if you're there for like 5-6 days, still get your workouts in. Like if that's something you enjoy doing, which odds are if you're listening to this, you do, like still make that a priority always. The next one is kind of about while you're traveling some food, pack healthy snacks for your travels before you leave for the travels. So I always make the mistake of not bringing any snacks with me. And then like airport food, first off, so expensive always, versus if you just brought the same thing with you, way more affordable.
I
and
spent
also
$10 to $12 on beef jerky.
Isn't it crazy?
And it was literally like a third of it was filled up, and because I didn't bring a snack.
Exactly.
And I needed some protein.
And even if you are driving to your location, like same thing, gas stations don't always have healthy options, especially like in between. I go to Houston a lot because I have family there. In between Austin and Houston, like some of those gas stations like only have junk food, you know, because some of them are kind of in the middle of nowhere. So that's something like if I just am planning ahead of time, then I don't need to stop. I already have the snacks I love. I know the macros on them. They make me feel good instead of eating something like gross on my drive. And now I arrived there and I feel awful. And on the flip side of that, I used to think the healthy approach was just to not eat until I got to my destination.
Oh, then it's worse.
You're hangry, first off, while welcoming family.
I'm unwell.
Exactly.
I get faint if I go too long without food.
That too, yeah. Energy levels are like so low. You just don't feel good. So that is never the approach. much. You can share some of your favorites. My go-to travel snacks are, like you said, beef jerky or like turkey jerky. The mini rice cakes. Love those.
Yes.
Also, like the small bags of like is it Skinny popcorn? That one's really good. Also, I always say the name wrong, but it's like Boom Chicka Pop. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The purple bag, it's like kettle corn. Amazing. And then dried fruit. Those are like my go-to. Do you have any others?
So for me, what I'll do too is I love the beef jerky and the rice cakes and stuff. I'll bring maybe like a protein bar just in case I need some protein, or I'll get some of those protein drinks that I don't have to like mix in with water or anything like that.
Yeah.
That is like lower in calorie and just like really focusing on just getting the protein in. First Form also makes these protein sticks that are long jerky sticks that have a lot of protein.
Seen those.
Oh, they're so good. I love them so much. Those are always great also. Or if you're like at a gas station, I'll get some of the boiled eggs and like
sounds gross.
It sounds gross, but they have them like already pre-packaged and ready to go. And then depending on like where my calories are at, I'll either like take the egg white or the egg yolk out, or I'll just eat the egg whites. Cause like honestly, like with boiled eggs, I kind of don't really like to eat the egg yolk. I only like to eat the egg yolk if it's like an egg that's cooked, you know, like in a pan.
In the same way.
And I just like to eat the egg whites for the protein and stuff like that. What other snacks do I like?
Gas station order.
I know, I'm trying to think of
just be mindful,
stuff like that.
You can find healthy options just about anywhere. Oh, the pickles.
Oh, I love the pickles.
Those. Yeah.
That's like one thing. Like if I'm going to stop at like a gas station and I didn't pack any snacks, my go-tos will be like maybe a veggie straw, veggie straws.
That's on my list for sure.
Jerky and the pickle packets. They're so good just to like get something like crunchy. But if you're able to pack them before, like save money, please do. And also with anybody that you're traveling with, then you have snacks for everyone else too.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're prepared. Another thing with that is being prepared for your water intake. This is one I'm bad at and Julia's great at. But something Julia does, because we've flown together before, you bring like a reusable water bottle and you can just bring it empty through security. And then they have fill-up stations. Like that's something I literally never think of. And then I end up buying like the tiny $10 water bottle from the airport and I drink it before I even get on the plane. And then the whole plane ride is super dry. You can get a lot of water retention and I get even more so because I'm not drinking on the plane.
Exactly.
So yeah, be prepared. Be like Julia. Bring water bottles with you everywhere, especially if you're driving. Like fill up a gallon beforehand. That way you don't have to like constantly stop to like buy drinks or anything like that. And then like obviously when you're presented with like soda and sparkling water and all these other drinks, your chance of picking water is pretty low, you know? So bring the water ahead of time.
When I'm traveling, this is especially flying. I know that's different than like if you're going on like a road trip or something, but when I'm flying, so I'll make sure like I check my bag that is for supplements and stuff like that. And they never say anything, you know, and I try not to bring my entire protein powder thing
just a tub
because it's too
big.
My
mom does fly with a
and it
tub of
takes
protein,
like
though.
so much space. So I'll put it in a separate bag and I'll portion out the amount of protein powder scoops I'll need for when I'm going.
Yeah.
And if you're being more strict on it, like you're a bodybuilder and you need to be traveling during the holidays, then I'll get like actually like a 6-pack bag that's for all of your meals. And then I'll travel that way and I'll put ice packs and I check that bag. If the ice packs are frozen, they have no problem with you checking that bag and doing it. I've done it countless times.
Yeah.
But if you're
liquid water.
if you're not going to be like mailing all of your food and flying with all of your food, bringing some of your supplements in your check bag if you're able to. And then with your carry-on bag, bring a meal that you can eat on the flight if that's something that you want to do. You can bring it to where it's already ready for you to go. Like what I'll do is I'll warm it up before I leave to go to the airport. So it's like warm in my bag. And then once I get on the plane, then I'll eat it. And look, it might be like cooler by that point, but I'm like,
When you're a bodybuilder, you don't care.
I'm like, whatever.
Food is
It's
food.
like, whatever. And then I bring an empty little liter of water, and I'll bring like a liquid IV or like an LMNT, which is both of them are hydration multipliers, so that you can put that into your drink while you're on the plane so that you don't have a lot of inflammation and water retention. And then maybe like one of the snacks that we were talking about, whether it's like jerky, a protein bar, your boiled eggs, whatever it might be, so that you are ready to go, so that you don't hit a point when you're on the plane and you're like, oh, I'm freaking starving.
Yeah, because then you'll land and you'll want to like overeat instead of just like allowing yourself your typical meal and meal timing for sure.
Yes.
The next one is to prioritize sleep. I don't know if you guys are like me, but when I'm around family, my adrenaline goes crazy and I feel the need to like give them everything I got, especially if we're like all together and it's been a long time. Like I really want to like match their energy, be high energy, be entertaining, stay up late with them, like early mornings with them, the whole nine.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, see ya, suckers.
See, I'm so bad about that because especially if like, I don't know, I get like FOMO. If people are having fun in like the room over and I am like in bed listening to them laugh at things, I'm like, I want to know what the joke was. So that's just how I am. So it's kind of like a reminder I need for myself to prioritize my sleep still. Like go to sleep at a decent time. You don't have to be like partying with your aunt until 2 a.m, you know, like it's going to be okay. You'll see her tomorrow. So if you're anything like me, just make it a priority, like set that kind of as like a boundary or tell yourself before arriving, like, okay, I'm going to leave at this time and just little things like that. Cause family's like the one time I really don't have like an introvert limit where I'm like, oh, I'm drained, I gotta go, because I just want to keep talking to them and spend all the time with them. So
it's also like important to keep your sleep routine roughly where it is, especially if you're traveling and if you're traveling to a different time zone. Like when you get there, you're already going to be like so way off. So the better that you, or the faster that you can actually get back to your normal sleep pattern, the better, because sleep has a lot to do with how our overall physique is actually looking and how our progress is. Like it plays such a huge factor in almost everything. So if your sleep is not good, then make sure it is. One thing that I do not travel without is my magnesium. I always bring it. It's small enough. The first form one, it's like maybe that big. How big is this?
3 or 4 inches?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 inches tall. And that I can just throw in my suitcase and it's completely fine. And I love having that because it helps me like relax and get back to a regular sleep pattern because traveling like throws everything off.
Yeah, that like, too. If you have a long flight or a long drive and you have the chance to sleep, like sleep on your way too, just because like odds are you won't have your normal sleeping schedule. You might be in a bed that's not like your typical bed, whatever it looks like. So wherever you can get rest and recovery, it's important to still like prioritize those for sure.
Do it.
I'm not a huge first one, but my brother and his girlfriend are, and I just traveled with them and I loved it, but they're like big eye mask people.
Cute. I don't want to mess up my makeup, so I don't do that.
At night. Not even at night.
My eyelashes.
Oh, that's true. You have lashes. Oh, I don't think of that. Yeah, but they're big eye mask people, and I'm a big like headphones person because especially like I shared a room with them. No, like in ear. I'll like stuff my ears before going to sleep.
Headphones? Or like the ones that cancel, like the jelly things.
No, they're headphones.
They don't fall out in your ears when you sleep?
No. Are you violently shaking in your sleep?
I guess mine just fall out easily.
I mean, they definitely might, or like I'll take them out at a certain point. But like if I ever share a room, or again, if you have that like FOMO of the people in the room next door, like say you're all staying in like your childhood home, right? That's how like Christmas used to look for us. And I was just in my bedroom and everyone's still having fun in the living room. Just pop in headphones and like treat it like you're at home, you know?
Yeah. My dad uses those ones that are like they're like circle-y and they're like wax and you just shove them in your ear. They're not headphones. They're just like noise cancel things, and he uses those.
I used to live with those because my dad's a drummer and he used to drum right outside my door growing up. So I would just sit there.
My dad's just a snorer, so that's why we would like them.
I would sit there with like noise cancellation
But my dad actually was a drummer too. That's funny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my dad is actually really good at playing the drums.
Same.
But he had them growing up, so he would always just like
drum battle.
We should do a dad band.
That'd be so funny. Our dads are kind of similar in a lot of ways.
They are?
Yeah. I don't think like I don't talk about my dad a lot on here, but they are.
My dad is something else.
Same.
Something else.
Exactly.
That's all I got to say. It's the you know those people where you're like, you just got to meet him.
That's my dad.
You just got to meet him.
My dad's saving quality is that he's really funny. And I'm like, if you weren't really funny, I'd be concerned. But you're hilarious, so it's great.
That's so cute.
Anyway, the next step is practicing mindful indulgence. I recommend going and listening to our Thanksgiving podcast because I feel like we really gave a lot of tips in there about like how to eat during the holidays. But this is like a huge tip or something, again, you need to consider. If you're in bodybuilding prep, like you said, bring your meals, ship your meals, have a kitchen where you can make your meals, whatever that looks like. Odds are you're going to still be in environments where everyone else is eating quote unquote fun foods or things that don't fit your plan. That's kind of like that decision you need to make. If you're in a prep and it's serious and you're committed.
And you have to do that.
Yeah. Bring your meals to those family meals. And you might get some funny looks, but again, like we always talk about, just explain the best you can. If they don't get it, they don't get it. That's okay. And if you do, say you're in an off season, you're post show, you have a little more flexibility. That's a great time to practice balance of like, okay, I can still go and eat out with my family and be mindful about what I'm ordering or mindful about my portion sizes and then go back to having a normal meal in the next meal, right? So it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing mentality. Like you can kind of like indulge a little bit, be mindful, don't overdo it. You don't want to feel awful the next day, not just like mentally, but like physically, because if your body isn't used to eating certain foods and then you randomly introduce a ton of salt and processed sugars and like all these things.
And you do it consistently every single day. Like when you get back, you're going to feel like a freaking truck hit you. You're going to be inflamed. It's going to feel like you've lost all your progress, even though you haven't. But really, it's like taking those moments to have those moments of indulging, like eating cookies and, you know, stuff like that, eating the meal, but then getting back onto like a healthy meal plan throughout the day. Like every single meal doesn't need to be like way off the rails. You can just like replace some of the meals with those.
Exactly.
Because we know that like we do eat more during the holidays. We have more treats, we have sweets, and we have different meals and parties and stuff. But like, for example, for me, Saturday I have a Christmas party to go to. So I know like Monday through Friday, like I'm just on my regular meal plan. Everything is going to be the same. The party is at 6. So what I'm just going to do is I'm eating my regular meals until then. And I'm replacing my meal with the meal at the party. And that's it. Yeah. Like it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah, I feel like we almost overcomplicate it and make it seem like this huge thing. And it's like, or you can just like enjoy your meal and then life goes on.
Yeah, we make it very complicated. And trust me, Kendall and I know how to make it very complicated.
Yes. And I've been in a place where I used to be really, really, I don't want to use the words good and bad because it's not, but how I was at the time, I would be really good about staying on my meal plan. And anytime I was around family or like around food I don't keep in my house, I would go literally feral.
You would be like feral. I love the word feral.
I would just go insane. No, literally, I would wait for people to leave the room and like sneak a bunch of treats and all these things. And it's like, if you just like have one without like, say there's like a plate of cookies out, instead of like kind of sitting there eyeing them all night, thinking about them all night, hyping them up. And then when people go to sleep, you like grab a handful. Just have one while you want to have one. Like it's so
also
simple.
Like that like mental battle that you do with yourself when you're deciding to eat some fun foods. That buildup is almost what makes it worse because you're doing that battle in your head of saying that this is good or this is bad. And that alone is very detrimental to how you view food. And then, well, if I have this, then I can't have this. Well, if I do this, then I can't do that. All of that is like building it up to where it's like, girl, it's just a cookie.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I've done that plenty of times. And I can relate to you on that, where you build it up so much that you make it more than it needs to be. And it's like, just eat one of the cookies. And you'll feel a little bit better, you know?
Like it's literally
the more that you build it up in your mind, the more likely it is that you will eat past the point of, you know, feeding that craving that you had.
And then
I mean?
you beat yourself up. You have guilt. You try to overcompensate the next day. Like that's what we don't want to happen.
Yes.
So just creating balance. And again, if you're in a position where you're like in a prep and you have to be super strict, I understand. And I have like
that's where
so much
you've
empathy.
made a choice. You've made a choice. This is why I don't prep during the holidays because I like to eat during the holidays.
I have, and I know I'm miserable to be around, but like, again, if it's a goal that you're committing to, you got to commit to it.
It's no one else's, like, don't ruin anyone else's holiday for your choice. At the end of the day, you're choosing this and you don't have to.
Yep.
No one's going to be mad at you if you choose not to do it.
Yep.
So yeah.
That easy.
It's so simple.
We make it so not
It
simple.
sounds so simple. I get it. We've both, Kendall and I, have struggled a lot with our relationship with food. And we know that the holidays can have so much like guilt and shame around food, and you obsess. At the end of the day, it's like, and have those things when you can, and when you don't have anywhere to go or like any actual party or event or traveling, just go back to your regular meal plan.
Yeah.
Go back to your healthy foods that make you
Don't
feel
have
good.
FOMO.
Yeah. Don't overcompensate. Don't try and like burn off the extra calories, and be mindful when you are having those fun foods. Stop when you are satiated and that hunger is gone, and don't go past the point where you're just like stuffed and feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah. Another one that isn't on this list, but something I want to note is like give grace to your family, because again, like we keep reiterating, you're choosing to live this lifestyle. And while it's a beautiful lifestyle, some people view it as like being a negative one or being like a controlling one.
Yeah.
So give grace to your family member. That grandma that just wants to see you eat some food is probably going to say something, and you just need to be like mentally prepared and not let it affect you. I used to be my poor mother. I was so mean, I think, especially while in like a dieting phase, because she would be like, "Oh, you look so good." And I would take that as a jab. She would look at my legs and I would take that as she's seeing something wrong. So I would kind of like project that onto her and being like, she's being malicious and she like doesn't actually think I look good, or all these crazy thoughts that I was having internally, I was putting on her. So just give grace to your family. Like understand that sometimes it's coming from yourself and not actually coming from them. And you don't have to like attack someone if they offer you food. Just say no.
I struggled with this a lot during Thanksgiving. And I honestly, I don't really think I shared this, but I am already somebody that is very hard on myself with my food choices.
Same.
And my family knows what I do, and they are very supportive of what I do. And I have one of my family members, I love them. We get along super well. He's very into fitness and health, and he's very, very mindful about what he eats and what he puts in his body. So we always have a lot to talk about, and I know that that's something that we can relate on, but it also sometimes comes with him talking about certain food choices that I make. When
are you sure you can eat that?
Yes. And then on the other hand, another family member, it's just difficult. I'm just gonna say it's my uncle and my grandma that they're the ones that will comment about my food choices the most, and I am already being so hard on myself about it, and I'm already working through like being more graceful with myself. So when people do that, like I react, and sometimes it's not in the best way. So this is something that I'm working on a lot, and I know I'm going to have to again when Christmas does come around. But on Thanksgiving, like I kind of was a little snappy because people kept commenting about what I was eating, and are you sure that's going to make you feel good? Because they know that I've been on such a strict diet for like the majority of the year because I was going to compete. And I just sat there and was like, I just wish that no one would comment about what I'm eating, how much, and it was kind of like snappy because I was just so tired of it. But
I get it.
I do need to be more mindful and think and put myself in their shoes, and they're probably just trying to like have a conversation with me. They probably don't know how to communicate with me. They probably don't know how hard I am on myself anyways. They don't know any of that.
I relate. That's why I say it, is because it's something I still do. And I feel like this was the first like Thanksgiving, especially because I wasn't even with my direct family, which was like kind of nice.
Maybe that's why.
I was with my boyfriend's family, and I was like, wow, like everyone's just eating normal and no one's commenting about how much I'm grabbing.
About it.
No, like it's, and also it can be difficult, like being the gluten-free, dairy-free one. Like people are always like, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't like make this for you. And I'm like, it's literally fine. Like it's really fine. But it is, so easy for me to snap and be like, it doesn't matter. And it's like, no, like at least they're trying to be compassionate and be like, I'm sorry. And I'm the one taking it negatively. So definitely watch your own reactions to things. And I think that can speak for everyone, whether you're in prep or not. Just like,
it can
be
also
nice to
like
your family.
be assigned to like maybe something that you're still struggling with. Cause for me, I knew that by me snapping like a little bit at both of them, because it was like, I was like, okay guys, like you're not doing this to anybody else that's here, you know? And I was just like, wanted it to stop. And then my little sister texted me afterwards, and she's like, she's the same as me, like very understanding of my past eating disorder and like my relationship with food. That is something that I still work on healing. She's like, do I ever do that to you? Aww. She wanted to make sure I said no. I was like, you never do that. And I was like, I feel bad that I feel like I kind of snapped, but it's just that like, I'm already so hard on myself as it is. And then when other people like on top of that comment about what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, if I'm allowed to, are you sure you can eat that? You're usually dieting. It's like, I don't need you to do that to me too, you know, but it was, you know, a good point for me to recognize, okay, I need to think about being in their shoes as well. They don't know, and they don't know that. Yeah, they're not like my YouTube fam that knows every detail about like my past eating disorder. They don't know that. Yeah, they don't
that's
know.
Like even when you're in prep, I make it a point because I hate when people comment on how I'm looking in prep. Yeah. Like Julia's whole prep, I feel like I would just be like, "How are you feeling?"
Yeah, every like single time. Every time.
Instead of being like, "You look amazing," which is something I think. I know sometimes hearing it can be taken the wrong way when in prep. So I'm just like, I don't like talking on anyone else's body, good or bad. Yeah. I rather see how you're doing. You know what I mean? Exactly. So, but not everyone would think of that. I only know that because I do preps and I know how I feel when other people constantly talk about my body.
Exactly. Because it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Wait, so I didn't look good last week?
Have you seen that? Okay, I think it's, who's the girl that is the star of the Hunger Games?
Katniss?
What's the actor?
Her real name.
What's the actor?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
So what do you mean?
What do you mean? But what do you mean? Yeah. But what do you mean?
Exactly.
I really want to be her friend. She seems like
you guys
really
would get along based on interviews.
Like yeah, but yeah, when you're in bodybuilding prep, like you're already so focused on like, am I ready? Like, did I lose all my muscle? Like you're thinking of like, you're just obsessing over your physique because you care and you want to be ready. So when people make comments, you're like, well, what do you mean?
Exactly.
Well, what do you mean?
Even if it was good things, like I have told multiple family members, like maybe just don't tell me I look skinny.
I know.
Because if you do and the next time I see you, you don't, I am in my head about it. I'm like, so I'm no longer skinny. So like just those little things.
Now I'm fat.
Which I don't think those would affect me now, but like it's probably 2 years ago when I had that really bad relationship with my body and with food and all these things, like that would send me off a cliff.
Interesting.
You know?
I think because for like my mom, her generation, like you told people that you look skinny and it was a good thing. You know what I mean? But now we don't really like, it's kind of just known, like you shouldn't comment about what people are eating, how much they're eating. You shouldn't comment about your body type. So you also have to take that in consideration, like with your family and friends that didn't grow up like how we do. Things
like
are so different. They're so different. Like there's things that you could get away with saying then that you definitely can't now. And sometimes it's like just a part of like educating them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Have those conversations if they're needed. Sometimes just be nice. Just be nice to everyone. The last point I'm going to make is find new ways to be active. Sometimes you don't have access to a gym. Say it's like Christmas Day, right? And you're all just kind of like laying around on the couch. I feel like that's what my family typically does. Exactly. Go for a walk. Like if you're in a new town, it's such like an easy way to be active of like sightseeing. Go on a hike. Like go see the area. my family used to just like grab a football and like go to like a park and throw it around, like just new easy ways where you're still being active and like still keeping your body flowing without like, I have to go and train legs aggressively the day after Christmas.
Cardio right now.
Exactly. Like, just find new ways to be active, be creative with it. If anything, I always find it fun. And I like, it doesn't feel like you're doing cardio when you're like running around and like playing football with your siblings and like these little things, right? So that's just like an easy one to end it on, is like find new ways to be active. Of course, if you can find a gym in your area, your hotel has a gym, like still get what you need to get done. Again, especially in prep. I know it's a non-negotiable. But for those of you not in prep, if you're stressing over like, I'm going to miss 2 workouts in a row, just be active in other ways, and it makes up for it as far as like calorie balancing goes.
Maybe just try and get your steps in, you know, stuff like that. But like, don't obsess over missing 2 days. If anything, just think of it as, I'm giving my body some extra rest.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, I took 5 days off and I felt great.
4 days off and I felt great.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now my body aches and I'm like, do I need another 4 days?
No, literally, like since being back, I feel like I've been dying every workout.
I went ham on my upper body workout on Tuesday. I don't know what got into me, but like, I was at the gym and I was just like,
that was me last week with a back workout and I'm still sore.
Yeah, I'm hurting right now.
I get it. Anyway, that is basically all we have. Just remember, over anything else, stay safe, have fun, enjoy the holidays. Don't beat yourself up over everything or anything in that matter. Just enjoy your time. And if you have a free meal, have a free meal. If you miss a workout, miss a workout. It's not the end of the world. You're going to be okay. And once you get back home and get back into your routine, it's going to feel that much better being back to that like schedule-based training.
Remember, it's never too late to get back on track.
Never. I don't care if you take all of December off.
I don't care if you take 40 years off. You can always get back on track.
Literally. Yeah, no, it's really never too late. I think we create this own like guilt and animosity towards like how we treated the holidays that we then stay off track, versus if you just like let it be the holidays and then move on.
Yeah, that's why most people don't actually start going after their New Year's resolutions till about February, because or March, or then they completely fall off from doing them.
We're doing an episode about New Year's next week, right?
I think so.
Okay.
About
I feel like that one's really
important
stuff. Because I feel like, a lot of misconceptions over like when or how to start are made.
Exactly.
Yes. Anyway, we love you all so much. Have a very safe holiday traveling time.
Travel time fly thing.
And remember, you are more powerful than you think. Bye.